What's up? What's up? What's up? Listen, the way y'all disrespect the Chiefs, Hillary Clinton's up here saying congratulations to Taylor Swift's boyfriend and the entire Kansas City Chiefs community. See, Hillary, this is why you'll never be Kansas City's president. Because the way them Chiefs played, normally I would agree with a lot of people and say stuff was rigged. But these fools played they balls off. They balls, they was making my stomach hurt. They was making my hamstring hurt. They was making my knee hurt. They was making me hurt. They had me stressed, neck tight, shoulders. Listen, I need to be on some high blood pressure medicine after watching that Super Bowl. It was a grueling game, but the best man won. And my husband's very happy because it's his favorite team. But what's up, y'all? Back already. This weekend, we have this group of vagrants that come around in my neighborhood and get in our stuff. So I spent the weekend watching my security cameras to make sure that all is on a home front. So I did not get all the sleep that I was destined to want to have. Like, I've been really on patrol. Y'all pray for me that I don't have to take somebody out. But, my house is blessed and I'm covered. But, sometimes you still got some little people around, these little jobless, drug addict people that come around trying to violate your home, man. And it's upsetting, but I'm staying positive. I'm pushing through it, y'all, but I don't know. Your girl might have to move because I just don't like to feel like I gotta watch my everything, which I already do, but it's just not. But don't worry, I'm not down about it. It just is what it is. You gotta keep going in this world. You always have some people that's just some low life people that just do low life things. But that's why I'm living the high life. The Bible says you're the lender or borrower. So there you have it. These people, I guess they just gonna always be scrimping around trying to take from people. But you never be blessed. You never win when you play dirty. But no, that was my weekend though, y'all, for real. It was like just blah. And then, the upside is the Chiefs won. My husband is happy with that. So I'm just happy Super Bowl season, football season's over. I get a break till August so my husband can bring his blood pressure all the way down. He can relax and we can get back to normal life because football has consumed our life so much. The Chiefs won the Super Bowl. Taylor Swift, they said her guest was throwing demonic images while wearing an upside down cross and making sure the world sees it. What is this? See, now y'all done scared me. I knew that little girl with that tight fro couldn't be trusted. She looked sketchy. Taylor Swift stole the show. What did she do? This is gonna be all about Taylor.
Elvis never had it better than that right there. Let me tell you, to win this one when we met a couple of days ago.
Okay, we're not about to listen to that. But yeah, Travis was hyped. There's his brother right there. On this day in 1990, Nelson Raleigh Mandela, I should have just stuck with Nelson Mandela, was released from prison after 27 years. And we're not even going to get into the Mandela effect. I'm not doing these conspiracies with y'all. So this is the second year in a row for the Chiefs. Call it a dynasty, they're saying. Yeah. This is really what the timeline about to be about, y'all. A lot of people was tripping off the Super Bowl performance. Usher had Alicia wrapped in his sweaty arms, and people were like, what about her husband? She seemed to have a good time with that. You know, when you're performing, it is what it is. There's a lot of tension going on in these games. There are currently hundreds of deceased people in the U.S., including baseball legend Ted Williams, whose bodies are being frozen in liquid nitrogen in the hope that future technology will be able to revive them. This is real. That's creepy. Let's see what else we had, y'all. Yeah, I'm actually relieved football is over. Beyonce was looking. Her hair was flawless. She was drinking some water. She was having a good time. Let's see what else we got, y'all. I kind of just started going down my timeline immediately, but let's get in this news and see what we got. Pink's concert in Sydney, Australia had a surprise when a fan reportedly went into labor during the show. That's exciting, Pink says. I really don't know what to say. Good luck. It's going to be great. She's probably like, girl, I got to get to this. The final score was 25-22. Let's see what else we got. Jeff Bezos files a statement with federal regulations indicating that his sale of nearly 12 million shares of Amazon stock worth more than $2 billion. Why is he selling so much stock? Kansas City mother is accused of killing her 1-month-old baby by putting the infant in the oven instead of the crib. Wow. Some of these mothers are just... The Super Bowl commercials were super lackluster. So there was a shooting today at Joel Osteen's church. A woman was killed after opening fire at Joel Osteen's church. Police say she was accompanied by a child who is wounded and is in critical condition. A man was also injured. And she brought a long rifle into the church. I do not understand. I'm trying to look at these comments and see. Somebody says, so another Sunday in Texas. So weird that she brought her child. I mean, it's gotta be something more to that, I'm sure. The civil war in Sudan is the world's largest child displacement crisis and as conflict rages on, millions of children face malnutrition. Defense Secretary Austin is hospitalized again, but will continue to carry out the duties of his office. Big spenders made money. I know that Drake bet $1 million on the Chiefs, so he's $1 million richer. Said he didn't want to bet against Taylor Swift. A non-profit organization is providing culinary training to teens and young adults who have been incarcerated or impacted by a criminal justice system. Federal judge orders Elon Musk to testify again before Congress about his takeover of Twitter. Officials have identified and arrested a 15-year-old for allegedly shooting a tourist in Times Square earlier this week. Alright, let's see what else I got here. I was debating if I was going to come talk to y'all, but I was like, you know what? Don't no monkey stop no show. I have to keep going. You can't let stuff get you rattled up, man. So this was an interesting story. It was a couple in court who's battled over these nuts. So this trans partner got his testicles removed and kept them in the fridge. So he's suing his former partner now to return them and asking for $6,500 in damages.
Correctly, it was March 20th. So in Mr. Wojciechowski's response, he admits that he possessed the medical specimen and he admits that he disposed of them.
Okay.
I am suing for the return of them and damages in the amount of $6,500.
She had her testicles removed. I believe, if I recall correctly, it was March 23rd, and they were left in the fridge. I wanted nothing to do with it. I thought it was odd, but I try not to judge because everybody's a little different. If it's what made her happy, whatever. I want nothing to do with them. I'm not one for body parts and all that stuff. It's kind of gross, actually. It's part of her twisted humor, not mine.
So they were in the house from March, April to...
They were there from April 2022 until July of 2023 when I disposed of them.
Yeah, so because that physical anomaly has been a point of stress in my life since I can remember, and my middle name that I chose is D, because my whole life I've been called Big D. I'm D from the D, and I thank God that these D's nuts were extracted, and they were put into a biohazard bag, and for shits and giggles, I put them in a mason jar, and I put them in the fridge next to the eggs.
So let me ask you this, was the conversation ever from you, I'm done with you, could you please get your testicles out of my refrigerator?
That never came up, and if they were so important to her, I don't understand why she didn't grab them then.
So the amount that I'm claiming is for the damages of not having these nuts with me. I want them in my fridge, not his. I'm not sure why he would want to keep them. The damages were the loss of these nuts.
I believe he lost his case. There you have it. Yeah, that was a strange case to say the least. Let's see what else we got here. I'm sure it's gonna be a bunch of football crap. Beyonce released 2 new tracks today. I know one of them was Renaissance Part 2 and Texas Hold'em in 16 carriages. Beyonce, one thing she know how to do is drop some news on Super Bowl day. I did like her little commercial, I ain't gonna lie. MAGA blames COVID vaccine for Travis Kelce's Super Bowl behavior. They said the vaccine had him acting like that. He grabbed Andy up. They said he's vaxxed out of his mind. He did grab old Andy up. He almost knocked him over. If the vaccine giving me that much energy, I'm like, shoot, let me do it. Donald Trump said, I signed and was responsible for the Music Modernization Act for Taylor Swift and all other musical artists. Joe Biden didn't do anything for Taylor and never will. There's no way she can endorse crooked Joe Biden, the worst and most corrupt president in the history of our country, and be disloyal to the man who made her so much money. Besides that, I like her boyfriend Travis, even though he may be a liberal and probably can't stand me. One thing about Trump, he gonna always take credit for something. Let's see if there was anything else worth reading, y'all. I know that can't be real, but I know that can't be what Joe Biden really tweeted, but I'm just gonna let that go. Yeah, it's gonna be some mainly Usher Raymond, who performed during the Super Bowl, is also about to marry his longtime girlfriend. I know that's right. Secure that ring. cure that rate. Alright. Let's go ahead and get into Reddit's, because I'm sure the timeline's going to just be full of Super Bowl chatter. What's a sexual myth you believed for far too long before finding out the truth? I don't know. Let's see what you guys are saying. That it lasts for hours all night long is drastically misleading. Yes. My first girlfriend made me think women have an easy time reaching orgasm. Boy, was I wrong. That men are always horny and will never turn down sex. Is that a myth? When I first learned about how babies were made in school, I used to picture sex as being sort of a solemn, formal ritual. I imagined a couple will declare, okay, we want to have a baby now, and the ritual will begin. They'd be sitting on the floor, yoga-type poses. The man would put his thing in her thing, just kind of leave it there for a while, and boom, woman is automatically pregnant. This would only ever happen on the rare occasions that a couple wanted a baby. Whenever my parents were watching soap operas or older siblings were watching those teen drama type shows, I always was so confused when a woman said, I think I'm pregnant. You think? How could you not remember that the secret yoga ritual didn't work? That's funny. Alright, let's see what else we got, y'all. Who's the worst person right now on earth? Thieves! That's who the worst person is to me. Thieves. Somebody said probably some a-hole behind the scenes that was never heard of. Whoever made pop-up ads in the 1 pixel size across. Yeah, that little cross that you try to close, just demonic. Whoever made fake X buttons. Most health insurance CEOs. How about all insurance? There's a lot of worse humans on earth, but especially the ones who commit heinous crimes. What's a major company that you would drive into the ground if you had the chance to? Probably the IRS, dude. I'd be done with that thing, like, today. Somebody said Ticketmaster, Intuit, Nestle, Purdue. Yeah, big pharma's big time. Somebody said the Church of Scientology. Corporate housing rentals and corporate apartment rentals. Meta, Bank of America, Facebook. A lot of people don't like Nestle. BlackRock. Yeah, all them 3 major players that run everything. If they all got disbanded, I think the world would be shook up, but they'd be better for it. Divorced people, what was the final straw? Shh. Too long. We don't have all night. Let's see. A lot of these people are writing books. Finding out that she had resigned to never be happy in marriage, her words, and that she did not want to go to therapy or try to improve. Yeah, when they done, they done. After 2 DUIs, multiple relapses, and separation, we decided to work things out. I had to take my friend out of town and buy a car and tell my husband I'd be home around 6. I was very excited to be early and surprise him. As I turned down our block of 5, I noticed his car coming down the block, stopped one house early and tossed something in the dumpster. I waited momentarily till he pulled into the garage and then drove up to the dumpster. It was a beer can he tossed. He was drinking and driving with our kids after all of that. Came in and immediately tossed him out. Being married to an addict is the worst, and I don't know how y'all survive it, because that is hard. That is really hard. Being pushed down the stairs so hard that I had splinters up and down my arms from trying to catch myself on wooden rails. Multiple broken ribs, and at the time, my brand new laptop I just got from school. Yeah, violence is never okay. I was the problem in the marriage. We were young when we married, and I wasn't done being a careless, partying person. Looking back, I was such a jerk. My partner didn't deserve that. You live and you learn. Told me she was cheating and had the papers ready the literal second I got back from home from burying my dad. There was really no single final straw. Alcohol was more important than me. Towards the end, we would fight, make up. He would promise to change, and then the next day it was more of the same. Yeah, when you're on that merry-go-round, it's time to get off. Somebody said I didn't like his girlfriend. Yeah, man. Cheating is something else. Let's get into these story times. Let's see how far we can get, because I always have a lot of them that I haven't shared with you guys. And let's see where we can, how far we can get. Error comes up. Come on, don't be so slow. Alright.
Apartment right there that's adjacent to the church. I was in a lot of pain. It was pain of being raped. It was pain of getting pregnant at 9. It was pain of giving birth to my daughter at 10. And then it was pain again being forced to marry my rapist at 11. And I got married in that church.
In so many ways, your story is the most extraordinary that we've heard around this, because you were so little when the sexual abuse started for you at the hands of the man who would become your husband. So little you didn't even know what to call it. Tell me about where you were living at the time and how the deacon of the church was able to get into your home.
I lived in the back of the church, which they call the church parsonage. The deacon actually had a key to the church to be able to come in and get the church prepared for service. My mother and my stepdad were ministers at the church. What you had to do is walk down the steps from the church. You walk into our kitchen. And that's where he raped me. I woke up with him on top of me many a times.
How old were you when the deacon first sexually assaulted you?
I was actually 9 when he started.
You were 9 years old?
Yes, I was 9 years old.
Did you know what he was doing to you?
No, I didn't know what none of it was. I didn't understand what really took place. I did tell my mother. I had no idea what words to really use. The only thing that came to mind is I remember I said, Mom, the deacon messed with me. She said, no, he did not. He don't do that kind of stuff. I said, Mom, he did. And she told me that's not true. My mom, for some reason, she seemed to blame me for what happened. She told other people that I was fast. She would get up in that church and tell all the members, don't believe my daughter. I was a sacrifice. to cover up what he did. I thought about running away, but I didn't know where to go. Had no idea where could I go. I thought about maybe if I die, but I didn't know nothing about suicide. How can I do it? I don't know what to do. So I continue to let the deacon continue to rape me, which he does over and over and over again. It's not a situation that you want to remember, to talk about what actually took place in my life as a little 9-year-old, 10-year-old, 11-year-old girl living in that house right there.
How common is this in the United States? How frequently are we marrying off little girls to men?
We knew at the time that child marriage was legal in all 50 states, and we asked every single state for their marriage license data. And just between 2000 and 2010, an estimated 248,000 children were.
That is just a sad,
Apartment right there.
sad, sick story, y'all. That is so sad.
So the first question I have for you is, can I still hit up my local weed plug if weed is legalized in my state?
I thought you would quit smoking that
I
stuff.
think we need to reiterate this. These are audience questions, so these questions do not reflect me.
Oh.
Yeah, these are questions that I've been given.
Okay. No, you can only buy weed in a state where it's legalized.
So can you still buy it, if it's legalized in the state, can you still buy it from your regular drug
Absolutely not. They have to be a dispensary, a licensed dispensary.
store? You gotta pay taxes on that.
That's correct. And that otherwise it's illegal to purchase anything without the seller.
So the guy that
paying
comes to
taxes on
my
it.
friend's house with the big trunk full of all the different types of flavors and stuff, he can't buy from him.
Going straight to jail unless he has a dispensary license. And there are some licenses that allow you to deliver. There are some delivery
Right.
licenses. I don't know. If he has that, then yes.
So basically, if I'm not paying taxes, or they aren't paying
That's
taxes.
how you claim this wasn't for you. This
I
is
said,
for
if
you.
they're not
I can
paying,
tell. I can tell
if they're
when
not
you
paying
pull somebody.
taxes, then it's illegal. Simple as that.
No, if it's not designated as a legal form of delivery or use based on the law that was passed legalizing cannabis, then it's illegal.
It's good to know for the audience.
Well, it's good to know for you.
The audience.
Judge Mathis' show is coming back soon. I think it's like February or March.
I went too deep. Have you heard of the prison planet theory? Well, guess who just learned about it? Yeah. I didn't sleep last night. I did not sleep last night, and if you keep watching this, you're probably not going to sleep either. So here I am, minding my own business on Reddit when I found Escaping Prison Planet. And for the next 3 hours, I dove too deep. Here's the gist of it. Essentially, we're all trapped here on Earth. We're all trapped here, and everything we know about, like all the religions that believe in reincarnation, all these different things, yeah, we keep coming back to this Earth because there are astral beings that are harvesting our energy, and they are trapping us here. Sounds crazy, right? Sounds crazy. Well, let's get into the details. Apparently these beings that are controlling us are these reptilian beings that you always hear about. Well, let's dive into it, In Jainism and Hinduism, they have Nagas, half human, half serpent. The Aztec Empire talked about a serpent-like god that they called Quetzalcoatl. And don't tell me if I pronounced it right or wrong. I don't care, okay? Surely, 2 instances, right? This is just a coincidence. African shamans talk about the Shitari, and it is a race of reptilian beings. The Hopi Indians in North America had the Sheti, which translates to snake brothers. Chinese, Japanese, and Korean legends all talk about the Kappa. And Gnostic texts, which if you don't know about the Gnostics, Gnosis just means knowledge, and basically what the Gnostics believed was after Christ died, you have to have particular knowledge that would save you. Well, the Gnostics, yeah, they believe in archons, which are parasitic entities that feed off of us. We're doing okay? We doing okay? So the question is why? What are these beings doing? Why are they here? Apparently, they have been involved from the foundations of human history in manipulating us, creating this soul trap, harvesting our energy. And what this theory proposes is essentially that light a tunnel that many many people have talked about that have had near-death experiences or death experiences. Yeah, it's just to trick us, to essentially wipe us clean, send our souls back, and start the process again. So every major form of religion talks about how we have a soul. Well, we are a soul. We have a body, right? This body is essentially a rental car. And these beings, what they feed off of, what the energy they feed off of is this low vibrational energy. So whether it's stress, whether it's fear, whether it's contention, pain, grief, jealousy, rage, all of it, anxiety, that's what they feed off of. And so they manipulate and they toy with us and they do all these things to create this energy. Now, I don't know if this is true, but that kind of describes the world we live in. It kind of describes it pretty damn well. I mean, look what Tesla says. He says, if you want to find the secrets of the universe, think in terms of energy, frequency, and vibration. What freaks me out the most is there's so many urban legends talking about these freaking reptilians. You know, that motherfucker right there is not real, right? Like, everything that's going on in freaking Miami, like I think we can all agree that there's multiple dimensions, right? People having experiences on psychedelics where multiple people take the same thing and they all go to another dimension and see the same thing. Like, how do you explain that? How do you explain that? Explain it to me, please. I'm going way too long with this and I haven't even freaking scratched the surface. But basically, we're just all here. Life is engineered to create this low vibrational energy. And what happens is when we die, when we go through that light tunnel, we're tricked into thinking, hey, you need to go back to Earth, there's more you need to learn, or there's karma you need to resolve, or, you know, there's a higher purpose that you need to do. And we come back, and it's the same thing. Listen, I'm a very spiritual person. Very spiritual. I believe all of us as humans are connected. I believe you look at every major world religion, and there's commonalities, and that's because it stems from this eternal knowledge. But this freaking scared the crap out of me. Because what if it's all just engineered to trick us? Anyways, I can dive deeper if you guys are interested, but if you're not, whatever, I'll just...
You know, and I'm not, you know, I always say I don't believe in conspiracy, but I do believe that, like, low vibrational is what this world wants us to be, and that's why when we do face adversity, we do have to rise above it, because I do definitely believe that our energy is sucked out by the negativity and negative things. Believe me, I'm a witness to it now, and just climbing out of funks and climbing out of things that I go through is just something. That's why I stay prayed up and talking to God, because if it had not been for God, I'm telling you, I just try to keep focused on that, because I'm trying never to be low vibrational. I know that it happens, and that's why you got to snap out of it. You cannot let life, because life is going to happen, you cannot let it derail you, because I ain't trying to keep coming back here with these reptilians, and I do think they out there.
Listen up, because I've got a super sad story to tell you, but the story can help keep you and your family safe. I was hired to do a home inspection. One of the ancillary tests that I offer is to do radon testing in homes. And it was an inspection in Oxford, New York, and we did a radon test, and the results came back at 64 picocuries. Picocuries is the levels of radon, how they measure it. 64 is the highest level that I've ever detected, and when the results were published and given to the realtors, I was told that the sellers of the home, it's an elderly couple, both have lung cancer and are selling their home to pay their medical bills. Let that sink in for a second. Radon gas in homes is the #1 cause of lung cancer if you take smoking out of the equation. Don't laugh it off, because radon is serious business. And to learn that these people were both dying of cancer was, it kind of affected me. And radon is one of those things that I don't take lightly, okay? Now, you might be wondering, what exactly is radon? Well, everywhere in the world, radon gas emits from the ground, and if you drill down in the earth far enough, you're going to hit uranium. Uranium decomposes and turns into something called radium. Radium off gas is radon gas, and it's pretty much, you know, in our environment and in our atmosphere. Now, if you lay on the grass at the park and you're outside, you could be getting up to about 1.3 picocuries of exposure. The human body can withstand some level of radon. But when it concentrates inside your home, think about it, your home is closed up. the radon levels can get very high, and you're breathing in that gas all day, all night while you're sleeping, and it's radioactive gas. Okay? It's radioactive. That's really bad business. So, why do I tell you guys this? Testing for radon is very inexpensive. Okay? If you call a home inspector in your area and you ask them if they do radon testing, the price is going to be anywhere from $150 up to about $200 tops. That's pretty cheap. This is what a radon test consists of. 2 charcoal canisters with serial numbers. You peel these off the top. You leave this in your house for a minimum of 48 hours. You box it back up, you send that to the lab, and they send you back a report. That's all there is to it. If you have high radon levels in your home, don't ignore it. If it's even remotely high, if it's above 3 picocuries, take care of it. Radon mitigation systems are cheap and extremely effective. All they do is put a plastic pipe that protrudes below your foundation and it blows radon gas above your roof. And in my area, a radon mitigation system averages between $800 and about $1,500. They're not super expensive, and it literally could save your family's lives. So I just wanted to pass this along. This is not one of those things to ignore. If you don't know what your radon levels are in your home, get a test. Have it tested. Now, I don't buy into the whole regional hotspot theories about radon entirely. I hear from a lot of people that say, oh, I don't need to test for radon because I don't live in one of the danger zones. But here's the thing. If you look at all the hotspots where they're saying radon is real bad, that's also where they're doing all the testing. So when you find these hotspots that never used to be...
Okay, y'all get it. Test for radon.
A 10-year-old Chippewa Falls girl is facing charges of first-degree intentional homicide in the death of a 6-month-old boy on October 30th.
Injuries sustained by the 6-month boy was not an accident.
This heartbroken father says he can't forgive the 10-year-old girl now accused of stomping on his baby's head.
As opposed to seeing it as a 10-year-old girl, I seen it as the person who killed my son. And she, in my opinion, deserved to be in shackles or handcuffs. She's a criminal.
An imprint of her shoe was found on Jackson's head. Jackson fought for his life for 2 days, but succumbed to his injuries.
Now the girl's mother is sharing personal photos and videos exclusively with Inside Edition.
What's up, guys? Today's my first YouTube video.
Do you think she's been painted as a monster?
Yes, I do.
Is she?
No, she's not. She is beautiful, intelligent, smart, loves to sing, loves to play.
Today in this video, we're going to be playing hide and seek.
She's been locked up for 9 months. This video shows her getting a ride from her father during a visit at a detention facility. She's smiling, but as Dad puts her down, you can see shackles around her ankles. The girl's family says she suffers from mental illness, and they tried to get her help, but were turned away.
They denied my daughter because she wasn't 12 years old.
She was trying to kill herself.
She had suicidal indentations, yes.
And you couldn't get her help?
I could not. They sent her home because apparently suicide had an age limit.
My thing is, if you knew the girl had mental issues, why was she around a baby?
I'm like kind of shaking and freaked out right now. I just got back from the gym and I had like a really creepy experience and I just want to like talk about it. Kind of like have people hear what I went through and console me, but also like this is a PSA to men to stop being fucking creepy as always. So for those of you that don't know, I live in a luxury apartment building in Miami. My apartment building has a pool, a sauna, a gym, like luxury amenities, right? So I went to the gym, I worked out for like 45 minutes, and that's really all I could handle today. And then I went in the sauna in my apartment building. It's a normal sauna, basically like with the 2 benches facing each other, and then the little like fire thing with all the coals in the middle of the room. So I was the first person in the sauna. I sat there on the top of the sauna bench and I had my phone on the bottom along with my water bottle and my keys, and my legs were like kind of dangling off the top bench, and I was watching the show Suits on my phone. And then I was the only person on this bench, and then 2 guys walk in on the other side of the sauna and sit on the other side of the bench, like kind of diagonal from me. So if the sauna is like this, I'm sitting right here watching my show, and then the 2 guys ended up sitting right over here, so basically like completely diagonal from me. They were like minding their own business, having their own conversation, like have nothing to do with this, right? So then like a few minutes passed by, and this is like a sauna room, but outside of the sauna is like a wellness area, so it has like spa sounds. You can like sit in these chairs and meditate, whatever. So these guys see me walk in the sauna. Again, it's me right here, 2 guys right here, and then there's like 3 guys sitting outside the sauna in the meditation area, like chilling, having beers, like relaxing. The minute they noticed that a girl walked in the sauna, they all got up and started walking over to the sauna to come in. And they can't see these guys from where they're sitting outside of the sauna area. They walk up to the door of the sauna. It's a glass door. They see that I'm in there, and then they see the 2 other guys in there, and they kind of like backtrack and walk back to their seating area and sit down. After like a few minutes, they decided to actually come inside of the sauna. So they open the door, they come in the sauna. I'm sitting right here. Again, the 2 guys are sitting right here. And then these 3 guys sit directly next to me on my bench, right next to me right here, while the 2 guys are still sitting over here. They weren't speaking English. I don't know what they were talking about, but they were speaking in their own language, not English, so I couldn't hear. I had my AirPods in and I was watching my show, so I wasn't paying attention. We were all minding our own business. I was minding my business. It's the fucking point, as always, as a woman. And then I just hear them, all 3 of them, be like, excuse me, miss, excuse me. And I'm like, there's nothing you could possibly need from me right now. Like, I'm sitting here, I'm watching my show, I'm minding my business, my AirPods are in. I checked that they weren't playing out loud, like it was actually playing in my AirPods. Like, I'm minding my business, you need absolutely nothing from me. So I ignore it for like a minute or 2, and it gets to the point where the other guys on the side of the sauna stop their conversation and just kind of look at what's happening, because they're literally like harassing this girl, and she's just ignoring them. Like, clearly something is going on. So like I said, I'm ignoring them. They literally go like this. Excuse me, miss, start hitting my shoulder and tapping me like this. And I take out my fucking AirPod and I'm like, what do you need? What is it? He was like, oh, we were just like trying to talk to you. Do you live in this building? I was like, yes, I live here. This is a residential building. Of course I live in... Why the fuck else would I be in the sauna at 10 p.m. on a Tuesday night unless I lived in the building? I'm alone. Obviously, I live in the building. Like, what kind of stupid question is that? Like, why are you bothering me right now? So they kind of get the hint that I'm not feeling it based off my tone. I wasn't as aggressive as I just was explaining it to you, but I was kind of like, yeah, like, I live in the building. What do you need? Yes, I live here. And he's like, oh, what floor do you live on? I put my AirPod back in. I'm like, there's no reason you need to know what floor I live on. You are not maintenance. You are not security. You are nobody of consequence, and I live alone, and I'm not going to be going and telling strangers in my building, especially guys acting like this, what fucking floor I live on. You don't need to know that information. So then they obviously get the hint that I'm not feeling it. I put my AirPod back in and just ignore everything else they have to say. So all 3 guys get up and walk out of the sauna, right? At this point, I'm fucking annoyed. I check how much time I have left in the sauna. I do like 15 to 20 minutes in the sauna. I think I had like 4 minutes left, and the other guys that were sitting right here in the sauna were still sitting there. So I was like, okay, those guys are still sitting there, and like, I feel comfortable because there's still guys and like there's other people in the sauna. So I was like, I'm just gonna like leave the 4 minutes, and like when the 4 minutes are up, I'm gonna run out of the sauna. Like, regardless of whether those 2 guys are still sitting here or not, like my time in the sauna is up. So I'd say like with 1 minute left on my timer, those 2 guys sitting across from me in the sauna get up and walk out of the sauna and walk completely out of the sauna and wellness area and like walk into the hallway, like shut the door so that it's just me in the sauna now, and those 3 creepy guys sitting outside of the sauna in the wellness area relaxing. When I tell you, the second to this wellness and sauna area, the second that door shut and those 2 other guys walked out of the sauna, there's a little window in the sauna where you can see through into the sauna across from the glass door panel. When I tell you, the guy who was asking me what floor I live on, his neck snapped so quick and looked into the sauna to see if I was still in there alone. He literally went like this. He was talking with his friends. He heard the door shut. He goes and stares directly at me. And I can see him, like, the glass window in the sauna was across from where I was sitting. So I was basically sitting here, and you can see through the glass window to where he's sitting. And he looked directly at me and stared at me. And I literally immediately start getting my stuff together. I'm like, nope, I am not about to be on, like, the first 48. Absolutely the fuck not. Like, I know where this is headed. And I just started fucking freaking out. And this whole time, I was already anxious. But this made me, like, shake. I was like, absolutely not. Like, this guy has bad intentions. I start getting my keys, my phone, like, my water bottle, blah, blah, blah. He literally walks up to the glass window of the sauna and starts going like this. When I tell you Usain bolted it out of that fucking sauna area and ran down to my apartment, like, I am still shaking and shaken up. Like, that's so fucking creepy. And, like, I feel like every single woman has a story like this, and it's just so fucking frustrating being a woman nowadays. Like,
I tried with her, but I'm glad she's okay. But yes, lady, you're a woman. You shouldn't have been, if I'm the only woman with all these guys in a sauna, especially a residential sauna, it's one thing if you're in the gym, but you're in your apartment complex at 10 at night, 5 guys, I'm about to be heading up out of there. Especially having headphones on and watching a TV show. Like, you're definitely not paying attention to what's going on, but I'm glad she lived to tell her story.
New details have come out with Hannah Clark and why her husband burned their family alive. If you know the case, you know Rowan publicly doused his wife and 3 kids in gasoline, and then he lit the match. He threatened the bystanders who tried to save them with a knife, but Hannah still managed to escape the fire and tell police what happened before she died. That morning, Hannah woke up the kids at her parents' house in Camp Hill, but as she was loading them into the car for school, Rowan reportedly just showed up on the driveway. And this was a problem because she had moved there specifically to get away from him. The couple met back when she was 19, and he was a 31-year-old married father, and since then, he'd quite literally made her life a living hell. As we know, Rowan went on to force his way into Hannah's SUV, carrying a can of Patrol he had just purchased at a service station. She screamed at him to get out, but even with their 6, 4, and 3-year-olds in the back seats, he still demanded that she start driving. With that, we know that Hannah did start to follow Rowan's directions, but then in one last effort to get help, she made a turn down a residential neighborhood. She rolled down her window and started screaming for neighbors to call police, because like she had tried to tell everyone, her husband was going to kill her. Tragically, investigators believe that she was his only intended victim, but because she wasn't cooperating, it was at this point that Rowan switched to his plan B. In a matter of seconds, neighbors heard what sounded like a bomb going off, and the vehicle exploded with everyone inside. Hannah managed to get out completely engulfed in flames, but as a bystander hosed her down, there was only one thing on her mind. She started mumbling something about how her kids were still in the car, and she couldn't save them. After realizing there were children, obviously more people tried to get into this burning vehicle, but there was nothing they could do. Even if it weren't for the heat and the flames, Rowan had also gotten out of the car, and he was guarding it and threatening anyone who came close with a knife. From here, and in front of what had become a crowd of local residents, Rowan fatally stabbed himself in the chest. He made sure his kids died with him, which again, didn't seem to be a part of his initial plan. There was actually a note found on his phone written to Hannah, in part reading, quote, "I can't take it anymore, I'm finishing your game. Do you know how hard it is to go to bed without your children? I wish you would have just tried. I've told the kids you love them. We will all miss you." The letter ultimately blamed Hannah for everything, and the evidence at the scene suggested he intended to tie her up, burn her, and then take off with the kids. Again, this likely changed when she stopped cooperating. By the time paramedics got to the scene that day, they found Hannah with burns to 97% of her body, and they could tell she also wasn't going to make it. They figured all they could do was make her comfortable, but unbelievably, she wanted to give a statement. Before Hannah passed that afternoon, she told police about how she had filed protection orders to get Rowan away from she and her kids. Court documents list hundreds of incidents that clearly show this wasn't mental illness, but rather narcissism and a complete need for control. As we know, some of Hannah's last words were, quote, "I hope Rowan survives, and I hope he rots in prison for the rest of his life." But of course, no one in the family survived this awful day. In Hannah's case, even doing everything wasn't enough, and she couldn't give her daughters the life she planned for them. With so many warning signs and failed attempts at protection orders, this is a case that everyone should be aware of. For those wanting more information, I'm going to link the incident reports from this case and the link to Hannah's foundation in my bio.
You gotta really want to get up out of here if you stab yourself in the chest. Because how do you know that's gonna kill you? Man, that's a sad story. Keep y'all head up, y'all. A lot of these stories are very doom and gloom today, but you know, it's Monday. The Chiefs won the Super Bowl, and they're going to just get richer. So we'll get to watch that and celebrate with those guys. Other than that, y'all, it's Monday. We're going to hit this week as hard as we do all the time. We're going to keep positive energy, positive vibes, and just keep going, because there's a vacation in your future, because it's one in mine. Y'all stay woke and stay blessed.